behavior change. And there is nothing wrong with abstaining. Absolutely nothing wrong. It's just that abstinence is not sustainable for everyone. You could abstain 4 years, 5 years, and then you meet somebody and they're like, oh my God, they are the love of my life. They might not be faithful. You might be boyfriend number 5 or girlfriend number 17. It does not matter what number you are in there. Just use a prevention method. This is where biomedical prevention of HIV comes in. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Another week, another episode, and today we are talking about HIV prevention. So how can you prevent yourself from HIV in 2026? HIV prevention is a big thing, and with over time it has changed. We now have more choices, we now have more options to work from. And so basically you can't say, I just can't prevent myself from HIV, because HIV is now preventable and manageable. But a lot of us don't have correct information. We don't know where to get the HIV prevention options. And we also just sometimes want to trust each other. I am not saying trust is a bad thing, because trust is also part of HIV prevention, but the trust condom, not that trust that you people are used to. Okay, so let's get into it. First of all, what is HIV prevention? It's basically ensuring that you do not get HIV. So in the world, we have at least 40 billion people living with HIV. In Kenya, we have around 1.2 to 1.3 million people living with HIV. And at least I think 1 million of us are on treatment. The others do not ask me where they are. They started and stopped. Some of them do not want to start completely. But you, who does not have HIV, who are the majority, are in a position to actually prevent yourself from getting HIV. So how do you do that? Thing number one, a lot of the times, as I said earlier, we now have more choices. So we have choices, and these choices basically, I wanted to say we have choices and options, then I realized it's the same thing. These choices basically center around your lifestyle. They are centered around your daily life. They're centered, some of them, around your relationship status. And they're very highly effective medical and behavioral methods that best fit your lifestyle. So the medical ones, please, I just want us to accommodate and accept science and the work that scientists have done in terms of coming up with more biomedical methods of HIV prevention. However, we are going to start with behavior change. So sometimes when I speak, oh, I have HIV, some of you, I see you in the comment section say, let's just abstain, guys. And there is nothing wrong with abstaining. Absolutely nothing wrong. It's just that abstinence is not sustainable for everyone. You could abstain 4 years, 5 years, and then you meet somebody and they're like, oh my God, they are the love of my life. And then you forget that you have been abstaining, because when you want to be on the love of your life's chandelier. So to prevent that, use a form of HIV prevention. Okay? So there are people who say being faithful. And the ABC campaign, if you existed, if you're a millennial, you know the ABC campaign. Abstain, be faithful, use the condom. So being faithful is nice, except Nairobi people are not faithful. So to avoid that, even if you just met this person and guys, he is so great, or she is the best thing that has happened to me, they might not be faithful. You might be boyfriend number 5 or girlfriend number 17. It does not matter what number you are in there. Just use a prevention method. I'm not saying everybody is unfaithful. I'm just saying, just in case, you people can be added on a group chat, all of you together as partners. Okay? So that is where condoms come in. We have 2 types of condoms, the male condom, the female condom. The male condom has evolved. It has flavors and colors, and it is such a wonderful product. They have produced many things around the male condom. They have even one that has ribs. It has, you touch it like this, it has things, okay? And then they have another one that is thin. They have another one that is called skins. Like you can skin each other, you can feel the skin. You can't feel the skin, but it is a prevention method. Okay. So the male condom, and for male condom, sometimes I say that even women need to actually normalize buying the male condom, normalize carrying it. Okay, because you never know. Sex is more of a spontaneous thing. Well, except for millennials, it's not. Millennials require millennials and the Gen X and that other generation behind Gen X. That other generation behind Gen X cannot have sex. Or maybe they do. I don't know. I don't want sex is autonomous, guys. I don't want to limit you people, but for millennials, they plan. Oh, when are you coming? Oh, I'm coming next week. Oh, next week I am not available next week, but what? So millennials plan. Gen Z, Gen Alpha, I don't think they're old enough for that. But Gen Z are more of a spontaneous generation, so they need choices that work for them. So sometimes maybe they don't have a condom, and it is what it is, right? So this is where biomedical prevention of HIV comes in. Number one, we have what we call oral PrEP. And when we talk about oral PrEP, it's pre-exposure prophylaxis. I have talked about this since we have had oral PrEP in the country since 2017, in Kenya, that is. In other countries, it's been here for a long time, probably give or take 10 years, 8 years, thereabout. So oral PrEP is daily medication, okay? And it is taken by HIV negative individuals to prevent HIV before an exposure. So for millennials who keep planning, can I see you next Saturday? No, next Saturday I'm unavailable. Okay, then let's lock in a date. 28th of June is the date. And then now you start taking PrEP on the 14th of June. Wait, between 14th and 28th. You do the math, it's 7 days in advance, okay? And then, so they're basically oral pills, and you take them before an exposure. You take them before you see this person. You take them before this person you're convinced is the love of your life, and you meet sexually, okay? However, you could also be in a position where, as I said, to some people, sex is spontaneous. You are out, you are doing mikono, what is it called in that other language? Grooving. You are doing grooving things. So you are outside, okay? And then you meet somebody who you believe is the love of your life again. And unfortunately, because there's no condom involved, you people are not faithful because you just met. And obviously, you're not abstaining. What do you do now? You take something called post-exposure prevention, or rather post-exposure prophylaxis. This one is a short dose taken 28 days and for within 72 hours. Please ensure you take it within 72 hours. The first 24 hours are way better, more encouraged. And both PrEP, oral PrEP and oral PEP are free in most public hospitals. However, disclaimer on PEP, it has mad side effects the first few days. I am not going to lie to you about that. However, it is a short-term dose. You better see it through. This is a threat. I am threatening you. You better see it through. Okay? Because if you don't, then you're going to have to take medication for the rest of your life. So those are the only options you have, because you believed this person, they are the love of my life. You are there telling them, oh, I have never felt like this before. So now you have to feel like this again for the first time on PEP. But it's a good dose because it does prevent you from getting HIV. Okay? But both oral PrEP and oral PEP do not prevent you from pregnancy and STIs. That is the downside. Now, let us go into what we call long-acting methods. So oral PrEP is sort of a long-acting method, but we have a longer-acting method for oral PrEP, and we have two. The first one is an injection for 2 months. It's called cabotegravir, but you can call it Cabele. Cabele, you take it in 2 months. It's a 2-month dose, okay? It's highly effective. It's an injectable form of PrEP. As I said, we have two injectable PrEPs. So we have Cabele and we have lenacapavir. But now we're speaking about Cab. It is used for HIV prevention, again, for HIV negative people. Okay, they inject your buttocks. So the first 2 doses are given 4 weeks apart. So dose 1, June, dose 2, July. And then after that, every 2 months. So 8 weeks after. In clinical trials, it had a 90% effectiveness or efficacy, and it provides significant reduction in HIV risk compared to daily oral PrEP because it removes the challenges of remembering a daily pill. So the beauty about the injectables is you don't get to take a daily pill, because with oral PrEP, apart from the one that's called event driven, where men take 2 pills, 2 pills, 1 pill. So oral PrEP is also very much beneficial for men, but not for women. For women, you have to take the entire 7 days, and for as long as you are having sex with the supposed love of your life. I am not against the love of your life. It's just that they are not the ones, guys. Anywho, it basically prevents HIV, Kabele, and as long as you are an adult of sound mind above the age of 18, you are eligible to get it. And in Kenya, we do have cabotegravir, and you can choose to take cabotegravir, Kabele, and if you feel, hey, this is not working for me, you can leave it alone and go to its other option called lenacapavir. Okay, so lenacapavir is also a HIV prevention method, the newest baby in town. They are calling it the game changer. The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here. Okay, so that one you can call it len. For lack of the r, there are very many r's in there. So lenacapavir is a new baby. Basically, it's a very new drug. Twice yearly, 6 months. So if you take one in June, next time you're taking it is in December. And after that, you're taking it again in June next year. So basically, that is it. But it has currently been approved by the Food and Drug Administration. We have it in Kenya, but on trial basis, and it's actually in 9 countries in Africa so far. It's in Kenya, Uganda, Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Eswatini, Nigeria, South Africa. I don't remember the last country, but there's another country where it's at. We will come to that. It also has been recommended by the World Health Organization, and it's currently on its global rollout. When this drug came out first, I'm going to start speaking about the cost, because I saw somewhere where they were discussing the cost. It was $40,000. $40,000 is a lot of money, okay? And then through a lot of advocacy, it's reduced down to $28,000. And again, $28,000 is a lot of money. So they had to champion again. So now it goes for $40. But at the moment, it's being funded by Global Fund to us. So that is why the 9 countries have gotten it, to start looking at the fact that, can we be able to afford it long term? How are people taking it? Is this a choice that people want as well? Because we might say it is a twice yearly injectable, but maybe people don't want it. Maybe people just want the oral pills, but that is a lie, because you people stopped taking the oral pills very long time ago, and I am judging you for that. Anywho, in cisgender women, that means in straight women, in trials, it was 100% efficacy. So it's for the girlies. For my girlies, you need lenacapavir in your life. That is what you're missing. For gay, bisexual men and transgender individuals, it shows 96% efficacy. So there was some sort of transmission during clinical trials for specifically the gays, the bisexual, and the transgender individuals. So basically, just like its other colleague, Kabele, it has outperformed oral pills, because again, it fixes the aspect of struggling taking a daily pill. So, and you can switch between Kabele and lenacapavir. Like if you are like, 2 months is such a short time for me to go to hospital, because again, the downside to the long actings is you need to go to a hospital. So how do you get the dosage? The dosage, you get it by, you start with the 2 oral pills, okay? So there are 2 pills called lenacapavir. You start with pill 1, pill 2, then you get the injection. No, is it 2 pills, 2 pills? Yes, 2 pills, 2 pills, and then injection. And then now you're good for 6 months. Then after that, you can continue. If you do not want to continue after the 6 months are over, again, choice. You can say, I don't want to go there, and you can stay. without the lenacapavir. Or you decide, you know what, let me just go back to Kabele. It's a short-term dose. You can still switch back there. Or you decide, you know what, let me just go back to the oral pills. You can still go back to oral pills. So basically, it is like that. Side effects before I introduce you to my very favorite drug. For you to be able to be eligible for lenacapavir, you must be HIV negative. You have to be HIV negative. So how do you know you're HIV negative? You test. You don't declare yourself HIV negative. You test for HIV. And then when you discover you're negative, now they can start you on the treatment. Okay? Very highly recommendable for people in Nairobi. There are at least 15 facilities that are offering lenacapavir for free in Nairobi. And there are 15 counties, specifically now speaking to the Kenyans, there are 15 counties in Kenya that have started the rollout of lenacapavir. This, however, I want to clear a misconception that people usually have, that it's a card to have as much as unprotected sex as you want. So the thing is, people have been having unprotected sex way when HIV was literally a pandemic. When there was no treatment, when there was no prevention, they still had sex then. So having lenacapavir is not going to stop them. They will still have sex now. We are just giving you an option to prevent yourself from getting HIV. Because the option are either you can continue staying negative for the rest of your life, but that is a 50-50 chance most of the time. Because as long as you're having unprotected sex, when HIV is watching you, it is watching. Yes. Anywho, so you can take lenacapavir and stay protected. And now they're working on a once yearly injectable, which I feel is a very cool concept, but we have to wait because that one is currently in trials. Now, let us go to my favorite baby girl, one for the girlies. So the girlies don't have very many choices when it comes to HIV prevention. They have the female condom, which a lot of them have not used, and it has been improved over the years, but not improved. They just added flavor. They added caramel, chocolate, and stuff like that. However, we now have the ring, the PrEP ring. The PrEP ring is also sort of long-acting treatment, and it's a ring called the dapivirine vaginal ring. So it's laced with an ARV called dapivirine, and it's inserted inside the vagina, and it starts being as effective in 24 hours time and for 28 days. So you get it for 28 days. And the beauty about it, unlike the long-acting injectables, you don't need to go to the hospital every other time. Your healthcare provider can give you rings for 6 months. So your work is inserting, outserting in the 28-day cycle. What is removing, not outsetting, removing in the 28-day cycle. So basically, you get to self-medicate. It's not really a medication, but you get to self-control it. It's very much discreet for women. It does not affect your menstrual cycle. It does not affect your family planning in case you have like a copper IUD. It does not affect your sexual life. Actually, your partner will not even feel it. They will not. It does not matter how loaded they are. They're not going to feel it. Discretion is the name of the PrEP ring. So the PrEP ring is very new. In Kenya, we don't have them yet, but they're coming this year, 2026. Some countries like Uganda and Zambia have it. Actually, Zambia is the one country in Africa that has all the PrEP choices. So yeah, we do have cabotegravir, we do have lenacapavir, we don't have the ring yet, but I feel like the ring is gonna be it's gonna be uptaken a lot by the girlies, and I can't wait for you guys to have it. Okay, what else have I missed in terms of HIV prevention? So basically, HIV prevention is manageable. It's something that you can even do by yourself. You don't need a healthcare provider apart from the injectables, and they're trusted drugs. There's so much chatter on myths and misconceptions on what if we are being used as guinea pigs, what if we are being depopulated, and other stories. I want you guys to give science a chance. Give the fact that science exists to make our lives better, to make our lives easier, a chance. Because the thing about getting HIV is we don't have a cure yet. So what we have is prevention. And I really want us to prevent ourselves from getting HIV. It's 2026. It's time for you to read. Like, we have AI. Before you even take up a product, you can always just search it up, look at what are the possible side effects, because the side effects are very well listed, and what benefits are you getting out of it. And as I said, some of these prevention products, you can start them from a small scale POV and then see. Apart from pep you cannot do trial and error with pep. That one, when you start, you must finish 28 days. I have forgotten one thing. U equals U, what we call treatment as prevention. So with science growing, I actually love science so much. I love what scientists are doing. Science is the hill that I am willing to die on, me, Doreen. You, I don't know. But science is such a beautiful experience because 10 years ago in 2016, scientists were researching how people living with HIV cannot be able to transmit HIV to their partners. And guess what? They found out that actually it is possible when you are on treatment. So as a person living with HIV, if you take your medication well and your viral load becomes undetectable, then you cannot transmit HIV to your partner. In fact, in 2021, WHO said the risk is 0. So once you take your medication every day, the secret is to take your medication daily. You cannot transmit HIV to your partner, because ideally that is the beauty behind the research, okay? But how do you know you're undetectable? You must get tested for a viral load test. You do not declare yourself undetectable. They test you. They do a viral load test. They realize how much level of virus there is in your body, and if you have anything below 20 copies, of which some people, as they take their medication, they get copies as low as 0, you cannot transmit HIV to anyone. And for women living with HIV, it's even more beneficial because it helps in reducing the transmission risk for you, and let's say you're breastfeeding, and also let's say you are pregnant and about to have a baby, it reduces your chances. So you see, science is beautiful, guys. Let us embrace it. Let us love it. Let us remove the distrust and mistrust, okay? However, let us also remember that HIV is both preventable and manageable in 2026. From me to you, I want to say adios. I will see you next week. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Au revoir.